Hello, ladies and gentlemen. If you don't know who I am, my name is Shook. I make videos for NBA, make videos for NFL. All these videos they get posted on this subreddit right here. I make updates with all the news that comes out throughout the day. Had to be available today for this crazy slate. Like I said, I make updates. You can talk strategy here. You can ask me questions about the slate. Anything you need, I will be here all the way up until lock. So this will be down below. And if you ever need to get a hold of me privately, you can get a hold of me on Twitter, right here. So, yeah, let's get to my lineups from tonight. So this was my lineup from last night, easy cash. And then I did hold on the other night, where I told you guys I'd let you know. I did end up holding on to the cash with Sharp, Simons, and Scoot, because the Lakers game blew out. So ended up holding on there and good cash tonight as well. I'm duped a decent amount. I was absolutely shocked I was duped this much. SGA was projecting to not be owned at all. And with all the value on the slate, I thought, people would go elsewhere. But no, apparently not. So my core today was Kyrie Irving, he smashed. Jose Alvarado, he smashed. Najee Marshall, he was good. And then Julius Randle, he smashed as well. And then, outside of my core, I told everyone Jordan Hawkins was one of the best value plays in the slate. Dyson Daniels, I really liked. The Memphis guys, Jacob Gilliard, I liked. Pretty much all the values smashed outside of Zaire Williams and some of the other Memphis, and Najee Marshall didn't smash. Still did great, but didn't smash. There's only like a few value pieces that didn't do really, really good tonight. Um, so yeah, running at my core with SGA. Um, what else? Dyson Daniels, Dario Saric, and Hawkins. So, anything I need to go over? I don't think so. Um, it's just about getting the value right today, and you absolutely needed Jordan Hawkins. So, um, yeah, not too much to talk about, but crazy slate with all the news. Happy to get out of that one alive. So, not feeling too hot, guys. So I'm gonna get through this one very, very quickly. So Charlotte at Miami, tough spot here for Charlotte. I'm expecting LaMelo to not be on a minutes limit. I wasn't around for the first game he played, but I don't think he was on any sort of limit, and they got blown out pretty badly by the Spurs. So assuming there is no limit, I mean, I definitely have interest in a 9.5K LaMelo Ball. It's not a good spot going up against Miami though. Looking at the spend ups on the board, you have some decent ones, like you have Giannis in a good spot. You have Sabonis, you have the Melo, you have the Phoenix guys who I think look solid going up against Portland, possibly Bam with no Tyler Hero. So you're gonna have to make some tough calls in this slate, but yeah, I mean, triple double upside every single night. As long as he's not on a limit, should play big minutes. Stat sheet stuffer. I have no issue with him. With Lamella back, that's going to hurt guys like Terry Rozier, Miles Bridges. These two guys, they're going to be a bit overpriced with Lamella back, so tough for me to go there in my one lineup. So they're more contrarian plays for me. Still have Gordon Hayward and Mark Williams out. We'll keep an eye on P.D. Washington. He is doubtful. Brandon Miller is also doubtful, and Cody Martin is questionable. Nick Richards going up against Bam, it's a really tough spot, but as long as the game stays close and he stays out of foul trouble, he's going to play around 30 minutes. I think he's pretty safe as long as he avoids foul trouble. And then if Cody Martin's out, I would assume they just start Bryce McGowan's. I don't know if I want to play Bryce McGowan's. So keep an eye on that, but yeah, he'd be playable. I don't think I get to any other value though here. I think better value will just open up, so just keep an eye on that. Pretty quick team to talk about. Moving on to Miami, so we have Tyler Hero questionable, we have Jimmy Butler doubtful, we have Kyle Lowry probable, and we have Kevin Love questionable. So if Tyler Hero plays, I would assume the starting lineup would just be, Kyle Lowry, Tyler Hero, Jamie, Jovic, and Bam would be my guess. So if that's the case, I mean, I like both the top two guys in a really, really good spot. Bam and Adebayo should be able to feast here. Going to play huge minutes as well. So I think Bam, I think Harrow are both solid. Like both at their respective price points. Don't have a lean on which one I like more. It's definitely a better spot for Bam, but I think both look solid. Jamie's just playing all the minutes he can handle right now. Stat sheet stuffer as well. I think he should be like 6.6K, maybe like $200 discount or so. I think he's very, very safe in the mid range. Caleb Martin's been on a minutes limit. Hard to go there at that price point. And then if Duncan goes back to the bench, more of a contrarian play for me. I would say Jovic is kind of priced right now, but still playable. Guy's always in foul trouble as well. And then Kyle Lowry, J. Rich, they'll kind of split the guard duties. I more often than not, or of late, when Kyle Lowry and J. Rich have both been healthy, they did close with J. Rich over Kyle Lowry at points. Last game they started Jamie at the point, so there's even situations where neither could close, especially with Harrow back as well. So a little bit of risk. I think at the respective price points, I think I just prefer probably Kyle Lowry. But there is risk with both of them. I definitely would not play either of them together. And then if Kevin Love's out, I would assume Thomas Bryant would get the backup five at the Flatman price. And if we get a situation, where Harrow's out and Lowry's in, I would assume starting lineup would just be Kyle Lowry, Duncan Robinson, Jamie, Jovic, and Bam. If that's the case, I think Bam really, really looks good, even at 9.1K in a good spot. His usage is going to be absolutely absurd with no Tyler Harrow. Also going to play close to 40 minutes. Assist rates go way, way up as well. Like him quite a bit. Jamie would be very, very solid at 6.4K as well. Duncan, I'd like quite a bit, but it always comes down to if he can hit his shots or not. What else? Jovic would be fine. I think I prefer the price point on Duncan, and then the guards feel a little bit better about their minutes if Tyler Harrow's out. Kyle Lowry, J. Rich, and then you'll probably see a bit of Highsmith, and then like I said, I think Thomas Bryant will get the backup five if Kevin Love's out. If Kevin Love's in, I have interest in tournaments. He's playing alongside Bam some as well. Didn't play much last game, but he could get up to like 20, 22 minutes. He could break the slate at this price point. It's like more of a large field tournament play, but just thought I'd mention that. Moving on to the Clippers, really, really bad spot here going up against the Timberwolves. I don't have too much interest in this team. Kawhi, Paul George, James Harden, at their respective price points, they kind of just eat into each other's usage. Really bad spot going up against the Timberwolves as well. So these guys are all more contrarian plays for me. Looking at their price points, I would say probably Kawhi would be my favorite. So like Kawhi, Harden, Paul George is how I'd rank them. Zubac, I mean, minutes have been pretty solid. I think got a little bit of foul trouble here. I'm not entirely sure, but they're going to need him going up against Rudy Gobert, right? So, I mean, he has the ceiling. It's just a really, really bad spot. Westbrook at 5.3K should see like teens minutes. I don't think I'd go there. And then I don't think I like anything else here. Man's playable at 3.7K, I guess. It's fine. If no other value opens up, it's all right. All right, moving on to the Timberwolves. Not a good spot here either for these guys, but price points definitely look intriguing, especially if Anthony Edwards sits. So if Ant's in, I mean, I like him for tournaments. They're also running a really tight rotation. Usually Ant's like a 9 to 9.5K player, so you are getting him at a discount here. So I like Ant. I think Cat's still, a bit underpriced. He should be like 8.3, 8.4K player. So I still like Cat. Rudy Gobert is fine. The main guys are playing huge minutes. In competitive games, every game's been a blowout or he's been in foul trouble, but in close games, he is playing close to 40 minutes. So, not the best spot going up against Clippers, but yeah, I think Rudy Gobert is very, very safe. Mike Conley would be priced right. McDaniels at 4.7, also another guy that's like fine for value. Should play big minutes in a competitive game. Good defender. So if no more value opens up, definitely okay with McDaniels. Then Kyle Anderson, he'll see probably around 20 minutes off the bench. Stat sheet stuffer. If no other value opens up, I'm definitely okay with that. Now, if we get a situation where Anthony Edwards is out, then I'd assume starting lineup here would be Mike Conley, Nickeil Alexander-Walker, McDaniels, Cat, and Rudy Gobert. If that's the case, Cat going to be their go-to guy, going to have to do everything for this team. 8K would be too cheap, so I'd like Cat there. Rudy Gobert doesn't really change much for me. The bumps are going to be the guys like, Mike Conley, NAW. I think Mike Conley at 5'8" would be a decent option. And then NAW, I would assume, would start. He's not going to be high usage out there, but he would stand out as a solid value for this slate. Don't have a ton of value on this slate, so he would stand out as solid value. Probably see a little bit more minutes for Kyle Anderson as well. He'd be intriguing for value too. So that's going to wrap it up for the Timberwolves. Let's move on to Sacramento. Keep an eye on Kevin Huerter news. If he's out, Chris Duarte started last game, but he's not going to play much, so I'm not going to go there. He's also a really, really bad point per minute guy. The bump that it's going to be is Malik Monk. So without Kevin Huerter, Malik Monk is probably going to play around 30 minutes. There's also situations where he could play a bit more as well. We know he's a really good point per minute guy off the bench as well. So if Kevin Huerter is out, I do like Malik Monk at that price point. Keegan Murray's just there for me. I mean, sign me up for De'Aaron Fox at sub 9K in a really good spot going up against the Bucks. One of my favorite mid-range plays on this slate. I really like Fox at that price point in a good spot going up against the Bucks. So, yeah, like Fox a ton. Sabonis is fine. I prefer the price point on Fox. Keegan Murray's just there for me. I would say he's priced right, but he'll play big minutes. And then if Kevin Huerter plays, he's been starting when he's been playing. I like his ceiling quite a bit. He'd probably stand out as one of the better value plays on the slate, assuming he does play and he does start and he's not on some type of limit. I don't know what his injury is. Ankle injury. I want to look at the last rotation though real quick with you guys. Yeah, keep an eye on that. And then Trey Lyles, where is he at 3.9K? Should play high teens minutes to maybe around 20. He's a solid value. Like I said, not a ton of value on this slate. And then Harrison Barnes, he'll see, I don't know, anywhere from like around 30 minutes. He's a fine value as well. But I would prefer, like Kevin Huerter if he plays. But yeah, definitely like the value potentially here for Sacramento. And Fox and Malik Monk, and Fox, Fox a ton. All right, Giannis, probably your best spend up on the slate if you're spending all the way up. She'll play big minutes, pace up spot up against Sacramento, double upside every single night. So I really like Giannis here. Price came down as well. I'm sure we'll get value if you want to play him too. So I really like Giannis here. I think Dame's fine at 8.9K. He's been playing big minutes. I would say he's priced right now. I kind of preferred him when he was in this like 8.5K price range, but I'm not going to say no if you want to play Dame. He's been stuffing the stat sheet too, so I have no issue with Dame. Chris Middleton at 7.7, I would say is priced about right for my liking, but not going to say no if you want to play him. Brook Lopez at 6.4, just there for me. Fine as like a filler piece. And then Bobby Portis is priced right. And then I do want to mention Marjon Beauchamp did not play tonight, so you saw bigger minutes for like Pat Connaughton and Andre Jackson. I thought I mentioned that. It's not a fun roster, but they are playable values for salary relief if you need it. But it's all going to depend on like if other value opens up, because like I'd prefer like a Kevin Huerter. I prefer Trey Lyles, potentially like an NAW, etc. to those guys, right? But they are playable. All right, can Portland keep a game competitive? Let's find out. So if you think this game stays competitive, then I think one of KD, Booker, Beals, or Nurkic is just going to absolutely shatter the slate. So I have interest in all four of the main guys for tournaments. It's just, can Portland keep this game competitive? I think the one that looks the best to me, point per dollar, given the matchup as well, would be Devin Booker at 9K. I know he's been up, he's been down. I would say Kevin Durant's been a lot more consistent compared to Devin Booker. So if you want to go to Kevin Durant, that's fine too. But yeah, if this game stays competitive in a really, really good spot for these Suns, one of these guys is going to have a big game. Yusuf Nurkic is in a really, really good spot. I like him for tournaments quite a bit. He doesn't even lose usage when this whole team's healthy. Like, he's still over a fantasy point per minute guy when the Suns have their big three healthy. So, like, them being all healthy doesn't really change much for me at all with Nurkic. So, in a competitive game, if he stays out of foul trouble, he should be able to feast here. So I like Nurk for tournaments. Beal at 7.3 I think is fine, does have a ceiling. And then, like I said, Book, Kevin Durant, I think are decent options as well. If you think Portland keep this game competitive, Grayson Allen just a filler play for me, and then Drew Eubanks to get the backup 5. I think he's kind of similar to like a Trey Lyles for salary leave. All right, let's move on to Portland here. So we got some news to keep an eye on. DeAndre Ayton is questionable, and Badgie is questionable. That's pretty important news. So if Badgie is out, I like the bigs here in Duop Breathe and Jabari Walker. See, Jabari Walker is going to play some time at the 4. They'll also give him some backup 5 minutes as well. Like, Badgie just didn't play much last game. Now, if he's healthy, I don't know if he got hurt or not in this game. I looked at the rotation, and I don't know if he got hurt or not, but his rotation wasn't great either way. Like, he came in, he got blowout. Wait, where's 112? Alright, the minute's just not right there. Sorry, guys. I looked at this rotation, and I'm just so confused by that. By the minutes there. Apologies. This will happen as a content creator. This will happen. Okay, I clicked on the wrong one. So, like, if you look here, they didn't play Badgie much at all. And even if he got hurt, which I don't know if he did, it wouldn't have impacted too much. Maybe he would have got, like, blowout. But if you look here, Jabari Walker, he got some time, alongside Dua Breath, obviously, and he played a bit for Kamara, and where is, and he got some backup 5. So even if Badgie's in, I'm intrigued by both the bigs here. But if Badgie's out, I like Jabari Walker quite a bit, assuming Aiden's out as well. Because he'll get time at the 4. He'll also get backup 5 as well. So, like, fire up some Jabari Walker if Badgie's out. I still think he's intriguing regardless with the rotation last game. Kamara's fine at 4.3K, just a filler value for me. And then Reith, I think, is solid if Badgie's out as well. And then the main guys, like, if you think it's going to stay close, like, if you're playing a Phoenix guy, maybe it does make some sense to bring it back with, like, a Jeremy Grant or a Simons. Because in competitive games, Portland is playing Simons and Grant, like, 20 first half minutes. So, like, I do like these Portland guys if you think Phoenix or Portland can keep this game somewhat competitive up against Phoenix. So, like, I'm intrigued by this team for tournaments. It's a small slate as well. So, like, Simons, I think, looks good. Grant, I think, looks good. If you're playing for a competitive game, Scoot's fine. We also have no sharps. Like, the beneficiary of that's going to be Brogdon. I would expect, mid 20s minutes maybe. At 5.5K, good point per minute guy. He's playable. Like I said, if Badgie's in, I'm intrigued by Walker. If he's out, then I like Walker. And then Kamara's play. I'm not going to get the Thibault. Like, and then if Aiton's in, I'm not messing with the grouping. Like, Reith would be out to play. I'm not going to play Walker. Those type guys. And then if you think it blows out, then you want to look to, like, I would think, like, Kamara playing a blowout. He'll play anyway. So, like, if you're playing for a blowout, I actually do think Tamani Kamara is actually a pretty solid value. He'll be in the rotation in competitive game. He will also get blowout as well. So, like, that's an angle you can definitely take here. So if you think the game blows out, I do think Kamara is pretty solid. And then, with the bigs, like, potentially it could be Badgie. They did give it to Walker last game, but intrigued by them. What else? I don't know if I get to anyone else playing for a blowout. Like, Scoot will play a little bit in a blowout, but definitely intrigued by Kamara if you are playing for a blowout here. So that's going to wrap up the slate. I hope you guys had a great night tonight, and I will hopefully not be sick and be available tomorrow. So talk to you guys later.